For the second part of the first chapter, two of the biggest topics that were spoke on were lessons and themes and myths and mythological roles. Around the world, different people and cultures have many different myths that are told amongst themselves, but these different myths can tell the same story in regards to themes and lessons. Joseph Campbell compares the Roman Catholic, American Hindu, American Indian, Hindu, and Arthurian medieval stories and compares their plots. However, the underlying themes and lessons are all relatively the same. A definition for theme that I found that I really like was a theme of a literary work is the subject or topic that underlies a story, bringing cohesion to the characters, events, and conflicts that take place over the course of the story. This kind of just goes back and tells like how he could read four different stories from different cultures, but they all kind of sound like the same story, even though they're about completely different things, because they all kind of teach the same lesson and talk about the same themes that are universal, no matter what you're reading. The second part was about the mythological roles, and they're called mythological because they're not really a role. Like our life is kind of a story, and each person kind of has to play their part. So Campbell uses an example about this involving a court judge. So when you go into court, everyone stands up, and this isn't because you know the judge and know their character, and you respect the person. It's just because you respect the role that they play. So when you see them wearing their gown and their robe, you know that that represents, okay, this is the judge. So you would stand up because that's their role. So each person has their own unique role, whether they're aware of it or not. There's some that are a little bit more obvious than others. For example, like you have a teacher, their role is pretty important. They're there to teach, and then as a student, your role is to sit there and listen. And roles are how, like I said, our story called life is able to flow. And these roles aren't random, and they have traits associated with them. For the example earlier, like with the judge, their traits are the way they're able to become a judge and achieve that role was because they're trustworthy. You know, they have their degree, and you know they're qualified to play that role, which is why they're the judge, which is why they demand the respect that they do, and you do have to stand up. So yeah, those are just two of the biggest things from our things.